Imagine a queen so powerful, her very name becomes a byword for treachery and wickedness. Was Jezebel truly the epitome of evil, or was she a victim of history's harsh judgment? How did a princess from Sidon rise to become one of the most reviled figures in the Bible? And what really happened to her in the end? In this story, we unravel the truth behind the myths and delve into the life and death of Jezebel, exploring the intricate web of power, religion, and politics that defined her reign. Prepare yourself for a journey into the heart of ancient Israel, where the lines between villain and victim blur, and the quest for power can lead to the most dramatic of downfalls. Welcome to our exploration of one of the most fascinating and controversial figures in biblical history, Jezebel, the queen whose name has echoed through the centuries as a symbol of vice and idolatry. But who was Jezebel really? How did she come to hold such sway over the kingdom of Israel? And what led to her infamous demise? Jezebel's story begins in the coastal city of Sidon, where she was born as a princess, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians. This was a time when the ancient world was a mosaic of city-states and kingdoms, each with its own gods and traditions. The Sidonians worshipped Baal, a storm and fertility god, who was central to their religious practices. When Jezebel married Ahab, the king of Israel, it was more than a union of two people. It was a political alliance that would bring profound changes to Israel. Jezebel, a devout follower of Baal, did not abandon her faith upon her marriage. Instead, she actively promoted Baal worship in her new home, clashing with the Israelite prophets who were staunch followers of Yahweh, the God of Israel. This marriage and the religious tension it brought set the stage for one of the most dramatic periods in Israel's history. Jezebel was not merely a queen consort. She was a force of nature, a woman who wielded power with a firm hand, unafraid to challenge the status quo. Her story, as recorded in the Bible, is one of intrigue, confrontation, and ultimately a dramatic downfall that has fascinated and repelled readers for millennia. Jezebel's rise to power, her relentless promotion of Baal worship, and her fierce opposition to the prophets of Yahweh are pivotal elements in understanding her legacy. But her story is also a window into the broader dynamics of power and religion in the ancient world, offering insights into how beliefs and politics were intertwined and how individuals could shape the destiny of a nation. To fully grasp the significance of Jezebel's life and actions, we need to delve into the historical and cultural backdrop of ancient Israel. During the 9th century BCE, Israel was a kingdom marked by political maneuvering and religious strife. It was a land where the worship of Yahweh was central to the identity of its people, yet it was also a period of significant external influences and internal conflicts. Jezebel's homeland, Sidon, was part of the Phoenician Empire, a powerful maritime civilization known for its trade and cultural exchanges across the Mediterranean. The Phoenicians were polytheistic, worshiping a pantheon of gods, with Baal and Asherah being prominent deities. Baal, in particular, was associated with storms, fertility, and agriculture, which were crucial aspects of life in the ancient Near East. When Jezebel married Ahab, she brought with her not just a political alliance, but also her religious traditions. Ahab, described as a strong yet pliant king, allowed Jezebel significant leeway in promoting her faith. This led to the construction of altars and temples dedicated to Baal and Asherah in Israel, directly challenging the monotheistic worship of Yahweh that had been established by previous kings. The introduction of Baal worship was seen by many in Israel as a direct affront to their religious traditions. The prophets of Yahweh, particularly Elijah, emerged as fierce opponents of Jezebel's efforts. Elijah's confrontations with Jezebel and her prophets of Baal are some of the most dramatic episodes in the Bible, highlighting the intense religious conflict of the time. One of the most notable events was the contest on Mount Carmel, where Elijah challenged Jezebel's prophets to prove the power of their gods against Yahweh. This public spectacle ended with Yahweh's dramatic victory, leading to the slaughter of Baal's prophets and further intensifying Jezebel's animosity towards Elijah and his followers. These religious tensions were not just theological disputes. They were deeply intertwined with the political dynamics of the kingdom. Jezebel's promotion of Baal worship was both a personal conviction and a political strategy to consolidate power and align Israel more closely with Phoenician interests. As we continue, we will see how Jezebel's story unfolds against this backdrop of religious and political conflict, leading to her ultimate fate. Her life and actions offer a compelling glimpse into the complexities of power and belief in the ancient world, and her dramatic end serves as a powerful narrative of the consequences of defiance and ambition. Jezebel's rise to power and her actions as queen are a testament to her formidable character and political acumen. She was not content to merely play the role of a passive consort. Instead, she took an active role in the governance of Israel, often influencing Ahab's decisions and using her position to further her religious and political agenda. One of the most infamous episodes of Jezebel's reign is the story of Naboth's vineyard. Naboth, a Jezreelite, owned a vineyard that King Ahab desired to turn into a vegetable garden. When Naboth refused to sell his ancestral land, citing the laws and traditions of Israel, Ahab was despondent. Jezebel, however, saw an opportunity to assert her power and eliminate an obstacle. She orchestrated a cunning and ruthless plan to accuse Naboth of blasphemy and treason. Using her influence, she arranged for false witnesses to testify against Naboth, resulting in his execution by stoning. With Naboth out of the way, Ahab took possession of the vineyard. This act of blatant injustice and abuse of power was condemned by the prophet Elijah, who pronounced a severe judgment on Ahab and Jezebel, foretelling their downfall and the end of their dynasty. Despite the looming prophecy, Jezebel continued to wield her influence, supporting her sons Ahaziah and Joram in their respective reigns. However, the political landscape was shifting. The rise of Jehu, a military commander with a divine mandate to cleanse Israel of Baal worship, marked the beginning of the end for Jezebel's power. Jehu, anointed by the prophet Elisha, led a violent revolt against the house of Ahab. His mission was clear: to eradicate the influence of Baal and bring the house of Ahab to justice. Jehu's campaign was swift and merciless, marked by the slaughter of Ahab's descendants and the execution of Jezebel's supporters. As Jehu approached Jezreel, Jezebel prepared to face her fate. In a final act of defiance, she adorned herself in royal makeup and looked out from a window, addressing Jehu with scorn and taunting him as a traitor. But Jehu, unbothered, ordered her eunuchs to throw her from the window. They complied, and Jezebel fell to her death, her blood splattering the walls and Jehu's chariot. Jehu then entered the palace, ate, and drank, before ordering that Jezebel's body be buried, acknowledging her royal lineage. However, when his men went to bury her, they found only her skull, feet, and the palms of her hands. Dogs had devoured the rest, fulfilling Elijah's prophecy that Jezebel's body would be consumed by dogs, leaving no one to bury her properly. Jezebel's life was marked by a series of challenges and conflicts that defined her reign and her legacy. Her relentless promotion of Baal worship and her persecution of Yahweh's prophets created a climate of intense religious strife. Her confrontations with Elijah are particularly noteworthy, showcasing the dramatic and often violent nature of these conflicts. Elijah, a prophet of Yahweh, emerged as Jezebel's most formidable opponent. His dramatic contest on Mount Carmel, where he challenged the prophets of Baal to call down fire from heaven, is one of the most vivid accounts in the Bible. Yahweh's victory in this contest and the subsequent slaughter of Baal's prophets intensified Jezebel's resolve to eliminate Elijah and his followers. Elijah's prophetic condemnations of Ahab and Jezebel, particularly after the murder of Naboth, foretold the downfall of their dynasty. These prophecies played a significant role in shaping the narrative of Jezebel's life, casting her as a figure destined for divine retribution. The political and military upheavals of the time also posed significant challenges for Jezebel. The rise of Jehu and his revolt against the house of Ahab marked a turning point in Israel's history. Jehu's ruthless campaign to eradicate Baal worship and his execution of Jezebel's family and supporters were a direct response to the religious and political turmoil instigated by Jezebel's actions. Jezebel's story is not just a tale of a queen's ambition and downfall. It is a reflection of the broader conflicts that defined ancient Israel. Her life and actions were deeply intertwined with the religious and political dynamics of her time, illustrating the complexities and dangers of wielding power in a volatile political and religious landscape. Jezebel has been remembered throughout history as the embodiment of wickedness and idolatry, a powerful and controversial figure whose actions had profound consequences for the kingdom of Israel. Her story, however, is also a reflection of the broader dynamics of her time, offering insights into the challenges and conflicts that shaped the ancient Near East. In exploring the life and death of Jezebel, we are reminded of the intricate interplay between personal ambition, religious devotion, and political power. Her legacy, though marred by her ruthless actions and tragic end, remains a compelling chapter in the history of Israel, illustrating the enduring impact of one woman's quest for influence and the relentless pursuit of power.